Hey guys, how's it going? Cesar Rodriguez here. I'm just in my backyard shooting a little informal video. I just got done working out and I actually prospected 2 people when I recently just got back from the grocery store after the gym. And I just want to give you guys a little how-to training on what it was that I did to get these people's names and numbers and really to just get them interested in, what I was doing. So I'm just going to kind of share with you a little case study and really just maybe you'll get some ideas about literally how easy this thing is. I think a lot of times we overcomplicate it. So in my last video, I know it was pretty hardcore. And I said, I didn't smile a whole lot. So I said the next video I'll do will be a little more fun. So, hey, look, I'm smiling. So I promised you I'd shoot a fun video. So let's go ahead and just, break down. I'm going to share with you exactly what I did. So, I'm in the grocery store. I'm on my way to the grocery store, I should say, and I parked. All right, and this is just my mentality. So step number 1 is have fun. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going out to prospect people, and like they're like very businessy and robotic. I mean, I'm telling you, the reason I'm shooting this video right now is because this is exactly what I look like, all right? I was in the gym, cut off t-shirt, like not really looking sharp at all right? But when you believe in what you're doing, when you have complete belief that what you have to offer is a gift to the individual that you're about to talk to because you know you can change their life, when you have that belief, then it doesn't matter how you look because you exude so much confidence. And when you're out there having fun and you're detached from the outcome, you're not wondering about whether this person's going to say yes or not. Oh, I hope they say yes. Listen, I'm huge on obviously doing the right things that you need to do in order to pique someone's interest, right? I'm the guy that created the immediate yes formula, for crying out loud. I'm all about understanding and knowing the psychology of a person and saying what needs to be said and doing what needs to be done to get someone to say yes. I want to make sure I go through all my steps, but at the end of the day, I really don't care. I'm not attached if they say no, because at the end of the day, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to themselves having a life-changing opportunity. And I don't care because guess what? Their bills are not my bills. If they don't want to pay their bills the same way that I pay mine, then and they want to keep doing what they're doing, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Look, you don't need everyone. You need people, but you don't need any one person. So it doesn't really matter who says yes, all right? Because enough people will if you play the numbers. So, here's my fun story. So I'm getting out of my car. I pull it into, the grocery store parking lot, and I'm walking by, and a guy, and I see this guy, and he's parked in a Jeep Compass, or he's actually leaving, and he's in a Jeep Compass. And what did I do? I looked at him, and I noticed that he was wearing like a purple shirt, a tie, a suit, because he had his window open. So I'm just, walking on by, and then all of a sudden, I just kind of glanced, and he was parked, ready to leave the parking lot, and I was just walking. I walked a few more steps and thought, that guy's pretty sharp looking. He's dressed very professionally. I mean, I kind of live in a beachy town, so I'm like, not a lot of people wear suits. And I was like, So what did I do? I was walking this way, and then I just backed up. And I said, That voice came to me and said, that's a sharp guy. You should talk to him. I walked a couple steps. Then I said, I should do it. I turned around. Whatever you think you do, right? Be 10 times bolder. I had the moment. I said, hey, if I was 10 times bolder, I'd go talk to that guy. So I just turned right around and I did it immediately. So first thing I did is I just kind of said, hey, man, I just got to stop you, man. I walked a couple steps back. I noticed you in your car dressed super sharp. I got to tell you, brother, you're the sharpest guy I've seen all day. And he just started laughing and he was complimenting. I said, man, dude, you were dressed so sharp. Shirt, tie, suit, the whole nine. I was like, dude, what do you do? And he started laughing. He goes, oh, wow, thanks, man. Really? You think so? I said, yeah, totally. I said, you're dressed totally like a professional. I said, what do you do? And he goes, oh, I'm a bank teller at such and such a bank. I said, man, that's fantastic. I said, how long you been doing that? And he's like, 7 years. And I said, 7 years? Wow, man. I bet you love it. And he goes, I mean, it's got its ups and downs. And he's like, in the recession, you do what you can do. And I said, in the recession? I was like, and I said, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, it's not as many jobs as, there was a couple years ago. And I was like, because I looked at him when he said recession, I said, recession? I was like, so what do you mean by that? And he's like, oh, there's not as many opportunities and jobs like there was. And I said, ho, ho, ho. That's not necessarily true, my friend. I said, it's all about where you're looking and who you know. And he goes, well, yeah, I guess that's true. And I said, well, lucky for you, man, you happen to know a guy that knows a lot of people. And matter of fact, my company is actually looking for some professionals. And obviously you dress like one. I can't promise you anything, but you keep your options open when it comes to making more money and different opportunities. And he said, yeah, man, absolutely. I said, look, now's the time or place. Go ahead and write down your name and number, and I'll get back to you with more details. And he's, sure enough, I asked him first for a card. I said, do you have a card? He said, no, I don't. I said, well, just go ahead and write your name and number down. And sure enough, he wrote his name and number down. And I've got it here. I'm going to hold it backwards so you can't see his number. everyone would be like, oh, I got a lead. But he wrote it down just on this little piece of paper from his car. And I actually took a picture of him. I said, hey, I'm going to program this in on your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture right now. So this is the guy smiling, and I saw him in the car. So boom, that was the first guy. All right. So again, I got out of my car before I even got into the grocery store. I'd already prospected one person. Now, I wasn't going out to prospect. I was going out to buy some groceries. But I figured, hey, while I'm out, if I see anyone whose life I might be able to change, I've got a gift. I'm going to give it to them. And that guy was number one. Then, as I'm in the store, I see another young lady. And, she is, she had a name tag. And her name tag, I noticed it, and it said, and it was for the local university that's here in our town. So I said to her, and this is really funny because I really was having a conversation with my trainer today about whether or not school's in. So I said, hey, this is so crazy. I noticed that you're wearing the name tag for the university here locally. I said, you could probably settle a question I asked earlier. I said, has school started back up again? Because it's the summer, we're starting back off. We're starting school back up. So I was just curious to know. And she goes, actually, school starts tomorrow. And then we started talking. And I said, so what do you do there? She started to mention, she goes, oh, well, I teach. And then she started talking about like how she does like health education and whatnot. And I was like, oh, really? I said, that's really cool. And I noticed her shopping cart had like a whole bunch of she like literally had an entire banana tree in her car. She had banana salad. I'm not talking about like a few bananas. I'm talking about like, she probably took every banana that the place had. And so I joked with her and I said, man, and again, this is all about having fun, right? Just joke around, have some fun with people. So I said, oh, really? You do health education? I said, that's fantastic. I said, matter of fact, I'm all about eating healthy. So maybe what I ought to do is just kind of park my cart behind yours and just follow you around this grocery store all day long and just buy everything you buy, right? And then she just started cracking up. And I told her, and I was like, and by the looks of it, it looks like I need to buy some bananas. And then again, she started laughing even harder. And she goes, oh no, I'm actually preparing smoothies for like the entire faculty and staff, so she's going to be making like 100. She had enough salad and bananas to like literally make smoothies for like the entire probably campus, so I kind of joked around about that. And then we started talking about, health and nutrition and fitness. And she started telling me that she's a speaker and she speaks and trains people on how to go out there and to teach health education, everything from, STD prevention and safe sex and different things like that. So I was like, oh, wow, so you like to speak, you like to train. That's awesome. Hey, man, me too. I was like, that's kind of one of the things I do. And, we just started talking and just, honestly making a friendship. I wasn't at that point like, oh, I'm going to go sign this person up or I'm going to go talk to her about my opportunity. No, because I don't know if she's qualified yet for even me wanting to work with her, because that's the way I look at people. I go, I'm sizing people up, trying to determine whether or not they even qualify to work with me and to get my personal time. So, I'm at this point still just getting to know her. And before you knew it, like we started knowing people in common and, rapport started to just accelerate. And I was like, man, I really like this lady. She's sharp. And I asked her, I said, hey, do you do anything else besides, teaching? She goes, yeah, matter of fact, she goes, I teach a spin class. I do this, I do that. And, so she teaches a couple other fitness classes. And I was like, man, dude, that's so cool. Like, I said, are you doing that because, are you doing that mainly just to, make extra money? She goes, oh yeah, definitely. I said, interesting. So let me ask you a question. Are you the type that keeps your options open, when it comes to making more money? And she goes, well, yeah, absolutely. So now I've got another young lady that's extremely sharp. She's a professor at a university, teaches people how to speak. She loves helping people. I said, look, obviously it looks like you love helping people, you love speaking, you love training. I said, me too, that's my passion. I said, look, can't promise you anything, but do you have a card? She gave me a card, and boom. And I told her I'd follow up with her, and I will, because I really liked her, and I thought that she was sharp, and we got a few people in common. So that was me. So within less than 10 minutes of me hopping out of my car, parking it at the grocery store, I had basically exposed 2 people to my business. And what was I doing? I was just having fun, complimenting people, making friends. So when you're going out there and you're wondering, what's the right words? What's the right thing? There was 2 different approaches. So I did one that was just very quick and direct. I prospected the guy and was just like, hey, man, you're sharp, looking good. I talked to him a little bit. He teed himself up for me by saying, oh, yeah, I've been a bank teller for 7 years, because essentially the recession's bad. So what if I didn't talk to him? What if I just didn't talk to that guy? I have the opportunity to change his life. I believe that. So what if I didn't talk to him? What if I was so caught up on thinking about the right words, I didn't even drop the first compliment? So go out there and just drop the first compliment and see what happens. See how friendly people are. If someone's rude to you, someone's like, oh, what are you talking to me for? Dude, next them. You know, we call it, you know, in sales, a lot of times we had this term, you know, it was called not qualified. So we just NQ someone. So we'd, if it wasn't a good prospect, we'd NQ them. We'd just say, hey, they're not qualified. You know, I'm going to NQ that one. Next. All right, move on. So both of these people happen to be very open. They happen to be very interested. And all I did was honestly make a friend. And I just committed to not get, you know, not to think so far ahead of myself that, you know, I tried to predict whether or not they'd be open or not. I just went out there, gave a compliment, had some fun, joked around. I mean, I had that lady in stitches. I mean, I was cracking jokes right and left, and, you know, she was laughing, and we were having a good time. And that was more of a relational, you know, I turned a friendship into a business, you know, into a potential business contact. You know, so I wasn't like, hey, let me make a business contact on her. I had a little more time. We were both pushing carts. So sometimes you're going to have time where you're going to be able to build rapport like that and talk to people. And sometimes when you're not, you just got to kind of go in for the jugular and move a little faster and just ask someone, hey, listen, you know, do you keep your options open? But with that guy, I didn't even have to, because he was essentially telling me, hey, there's not that many opportunities out there. You know, it's not like it was back in the day. And I just corrected him and said, well, hey, lucky for you, I happen to be a guy that has opportunities. You know, so that's my lesson for the day. That's just a little case study on how I prospected 2 people within a few minutes hanging out at the grocery store, guys. So don't overcomplicate this thing, man. Look, you don't have to be dressed all sharp. I mean, look at me. I look like I'm sponsored by Adidas or something like that. You know, definitely not. You know, but you know, I got a cut off shirt. I'm not looking that sharp, but I don't care. You know, my hair is not did. You know, I'm not all pretty, right? But guess what? I just went out there and did it because I have belief in what I'm doing. And it's not about me. It's not about how I look. It's about my confidence. So remember that. Take it to the bank. I'll see you over the top. I'm Cesar Rodriguez. Take care and have an awesome day. Go out there and expose your business. Have some fun. And let's change some lives.
Check this out, right?